Enemy mech destroyed. Primary objective successful. Proceed to dust-off zone for extraction. Sensors indicate friendly dropship has entered atmosphere. ETA dropship 1 minute. Shutdown sequence initiated.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another hot, sweaty night of stompy robot on robot action. And we have both teams locked, and I am good to go. Let's jump straight into it. I have all of 5 minutes warning. I have no co-caster. I have had several drinks tonight, and we are fuck it, do it live mode. Full send. Jumping into the first map, Canyon Network. Levels game of Bastards teammates. Pretty good at firing lines, a little bad at coordination. They've not played together all that much versus KDCM, the kings of NSR. And we are cocked, locked, and ready to rock. So, lights and MPLs, pretty standard on this map. Going to be very important to see how many jump jets everybody's brought. And I may have crashed here, but nope. There we go. So, Juice, lots of Phoenix Hawk, lots of Panthers. Definitely sticking with the MPL brawls. Uziel backing them up. Going to be a very, very good choice as the cooler of the mechs. If they can really hide those legs. Vindicator is going to be the method of choice for KDCM. Going to get really close and use their superior durability here along with those Uziel 6Ps. Interesting choice by Level's gang of bastard teammates heading straight to Epsilon, expecting the fight to go down up on the high side, whereas KDCM is going to be on the low ground. They've got good scouting information from Stool up here. Doesn't see anything just yet, but will be spotted by Captain Judas. So the fight is going to be close, quick, and dirty around this rock. UAV is going up for both sides here very shortly. And let's get to the action. Who's going to die first? Early speculative shots, but FLDR is going full send and not backing out. He's going to fall very quickly without support of any of his teammates. Going to be an early win for Levels Game Bastard teammates, but he's going to be traded out by Squishy IV4. Everyone's kind of backing up as KDCM just rolls into him. Going to make it very easy to keep the guys in the back alive. Juice is loose, getting back shots here, but does need to finish off that Uziel. Somebody please kill him. Finally, the strike does. Invictus about to go down. He's already been legged, or if he hasn't, it's been close. Well, the Panther, a lot of split fire here coming out from KDCM. Panther KK, probably not the best target, but the Uziel has already been legged as well. Juice on the backside here, really not being as effective as he needs to be. He's not even brought down Invictus, and now it's a 4-on-1 for this poor Uziel on the far side. Going to be a pretty resounding win for KDCM here, proving once again why they are the kings of full send brawl and MPLs. Interesting choice with this Bloodlust. Seen him a lot from here. He's got, I believe, a whole bunch of machine guns and SRMs on this Vulcan. Kind of an odd choice, but he makes it work. I mean, that's a terrifying amount of DPS if he can get it into close quarters. Both legs hurt on him. At what, 3 solidly beat up mechs for KDCM? But yeah, just not enough. They made the focus fire a little too easy. And I guess Invictus gets to babysit the cap. All of his broken hopes and dreams. But hey, they carried the team. Join Nismo.
Resource point Beta is ours.
When in doubt.
We have gained Epsilon.
A very quick, brutal, and short first game here. So, going to be rather hype as far as this goes, getting things live and done with quickly. Boy. Anyway, yeah, I got all of like 5 minutes notice that I was going to be casting this. I got asked, and
We
I
have
have
Bella.
nothing better to do on a Friday night, clearly. So, who wins the points for best paint scheme as we wait for the cap style finish out here? KDCM is not known for gaudy mechs, and thank God for it, because I hate them so badly. I am not actually running the lobby, so I can actually take some time to adjust the stats here. Squishy IV4 definitely died first. You saw the difference in the teams very plainly right there. Like, KDCM went full dive, and FLDR got legged, but he was able to retreat to the back of the team as everybody enveloped over him. Squishy IV4 had nowhere to go, and they got about the same amount of damage, but FLDR lived a hell of a lot longer. Juice had back shots for most of that fight. Really would have expected more from him. Maybe try and land a good strike, but striking a brawl like that probably dangerous. Team damage from the match score is not too high. That is probably killed somebody, but to be determined. For some reason, my stat screen is not updating properly anymore. But yeah, jump jets, tankiness, lots of picks on the Uziels and the Phoenix Hawks, I guess, trying to get more tonnage than Vulcans and Vindies. So, they've already swapped sides. They're in charge of the lobby. Makes my job much, much easier as far as casting goes. And bouncing over to the map strat. That is the wrong map. Bouncing over to the map strat. I don't see what the point of going Epsilon is. I guess you can crash into Theta, but you know what KDCM is. Why would you not go to at least the outcroppings and get some early shots as they come in at you? I mean, yeah, if they come up this side, you're a little exposed, but you just fall back to Charlie 4 and you still get the opening broadsides, I guess. I don't know. I feel like this is a very weak spot, especially if you're going to be on the low ground like that. Maybe try high side? I don't know. Why is... I'm apparently still casting the role. Why is it not showing Canyon Network? Well, this is why we test things before we do them. Will this show Canyon Network? Okay, well, high side up here, very weak position, especially if you're going to be brawled into. Take some advantage and get some early shots. You're better shots at them while they walk in. Team 1 is locked as we get ready to go in. Yeah, I don't know. Epsilon is weird. Don't go to Epsilon. Not in a brawl this light. I can see it if you had, a little more mid-range stuff, some LBX 10s or Ultra 5s on some of the heavier drops. But I mean, at that point, why not go to Kappa? You want as much open ground in front of you as you can, just to get more shots and more strikes down. Don't let KDCM corner you in a bunch of hilly terrain where they've fought a million times. But whatever. Fuck it. Let's go. Team 2 is locked, and we are set for another brutal, brutal match. It's going to be interesting. I don't think Level has... I don't think they were expecting to win the light MPL brawls, so we may see some Galaxy Brain things after this. Vindicators, Phoenix Hawks, Uziels, standard fare for everybody else. Any real surprises on the board? Not really. Everyone's taking 40 to 55 tonners. Hellspawn's about as weird as it gets, and Hellspawn's utterly terrifying in Solaris. So he'll be in the back and hopefully get left alone. Let's follow Squishy IV4 as he leads the pack in and hopefully doesn't die this time. They are really committed to this Epsilon side again. I mean, I don't see it, man. This is... If you want to receive a push, why would you receive it here? I don't know. Somebody's going to explain that to me in the chat. I'm stupid. Alright, so KDCM got to the same position they were in last time. Don't have nearly as good of scouting information. Have not spotted this yet. Early lines, as Invictus comes off Theta, probably caught a glimpse of them. They're kind of deciding where they want to jump up here. Stool is going to spot them again. Both sides know about where the other's at. So, bit of patience here for KDCM. Nobody's taking any caps. Going to be no real cap pressure. Both have kind of decided this is going to be what it's going to be. Finally, Weapon Master going to go dump his nose into Epsilon, but
We have
could
gained
be a
Epsilon.
strike going down. All these Vindicators weapons are MPLs. These are MPL boats through and through. 5
Theta is
MPL,
controlled by
5
the enemy.
MPL, 5 MPL. Zeals are 6. So, yeah. This is an all MPL brawl. Another early strike going down. Some substantial damage on the Azil, but it's less than you think, considering they're only going to be ever shooting legs here. So, early UAVs. They're both playing at KG. KDCM is not going full send. They are not using their NSR skills quite the way I would have expected them to. They don't need to, but they are behind on caps right now. They just have absolute dominant map control. Might be nice to send one of the Vulcans out to go cap Kappa, put some pressure, and make them come to you. Weapon Master getting a little. He was going for a sniff, but ultimately backs off. This is a very slow match, and one of the slowest I've seen for these sorts of weight classes. No crabs. They don't have jump jets, and the one that does have jump jets is very easy to leg. So, Uziels are generally better. Yes, still being a very slow game. Do something. Fight. Kill each other. Somebody go strike Captain Judas. I mean, I guess KDCM is happy to take the little bit of chip damage they're getting down. We've got 3 people below 95, but not. I mean, just more and more strikes. If they're doing anything like calling them out, and they should be able to dodge them. They've got plenty of speed to do so. Victus did take a fair bit of pain there, relatively, for the drop. Must have been hit by a splashing artillery shell here. Still nothing. I mean, I've only got so much I can vamp with here, guys. You got to start shooting each other at some point. You got 6 minutes left. And I don't know if a push in 4 minutes is going to make that much difference than a push now, but it's what it is. All right. Vindicator getting some early eyes. Squeeby's going up for the first toehold they've had up here so far. Look, if you're going to stay here, go get Kappa. If you're not going to stay here, then what is the purpose of waiting? They're facing a good enough team. They're going to dodge the strikes. They've been hit by a total of like 1.5 artillery shells just in splash damage. All right, here it comes. Here we go. This is the KDCM I know. Coming around the right corner. Victus leads the way. First target's going to be the Uziel in the back. Bunch of early damage going down. Dreadnought with those SRMs and trying to get in there a little closer. Invictus finally been legged. Going to shield that leg as much as he can as the team pushes forward. Will get some damage from where he's at. They're falling back much more coordinated this time. Levels game of bastard teammates absolutely receiving this push with flying colors. Got one mech legged and taken out of the fight. Got Squeebies in the back. Got Jay finally legged as well. Juice is the first one to actually fall, but they've taken a lot of these mechs out of the fight with just how slow they're going to be. Nata Rastad is probably going to die here untraded, but they're allowing everybody else to cool down, and they're staying a little more coordinated. This is actually probably in LGBT's favor here, as 3 or 4 mechs are all that's got legs. If they keep backing away, they are going to maintain this advantage. Weapon Master finally going down with concentrated focus fire, but this is still an even fight. Squishy IV4 is doing what he can. He's taking a little bit of shots from the two leg backs in the back, but if they drop squeebs, they can keep moving down towards Gamma this way. Keep trading it out. Those MPLs do not last at range. Thalos going down. 2v2 now. Invictus finally getting back into the fight as he limps his way over. Very, very slowly. So this has gotten a lot closer than I thought it would be. They've still got a fair bit of health of these Vindicators, but they don't seem to be able to drop Dreadnought or Stool Softener. Both mechs probably near their heat cap. Dreadnought finally got legged there, but it's all over Fathalis here. They did make an honest effort of it, but this is also what KDCM does. So, real strange they waited that long to make that push, but I guess they ran out of strikes and just said, all right, fuck it, let's go. Don't know. We'll have to ask them later on in the interviews. They played that very cagey, but very effectively. They still won. Here we go. So we have, let's check the damage on these guys. Dreadnought's legged and open. Stool is probably the healthiest of anybody left, with both legs and a bit of chip damage everywhere. Victus got legged and Jay got legged, so Victus wasn't really close to dying. Jay was very close to dying. That looks like a lot of overheat damage as well. From
They
those.
have resource point Gamma.
LFE was a very good choice, at least for him. So yeah, they made it out with one mech and 3 halves of mechs.
Resources. We've failed.
Interesting. Alright, let's take a look at these damages going in here, seeing if we can find anybody with some substantial team damage based on the match scores. Doesn't look like it. You can definitely tell Juice was the first focus fire target down. A very good showing from both the Vulcans on both sides. Definitely the harder of the carries. Stool Softener being the last mech up definitely shows in his damage scores, but props to Invictus and Jay. Even though they got legged out early, they were still able to affect the match outcome pretty significantly. I don't know how much of that is strikes versus how much of that is MPLs. But still good on him. Much less focused of the damage. A lot higher damage scores in the first match, so definitely spreading it out a little bit shows just how much that KG shoot what you can as they're peeking over their rage. They had a lot of torsos they didn't end up capitalizing on. But still, good match. And let's see if we have Level's true Galaxy Brain potential released here in this next set of maps. So Frozen City Night Classic it's way too many damn words. It truly is. We need acronyms for some of these fucking maps that are very I don't know, specific, let's call it. Be nice to PGI today. Going over to the map strat, we've got this horrible dropship, but the interesting thing here is there's no real way to do what we did on Grim or anything else like that, because you can't see any of these cap points from each other. And I mean, even hiding out here in Bravo 6 with the R's, you can kind of contest Epsilon, but not really. It's really going to take a brawl push. Get it very, very messy in this area. Try and use the cover in the buildings as much as you can. I'd expect the lesser teams to fight a little more on the Charlie 3 side, while the more experienced ones want the space of Charlie 4. Generally, if you're in Charlie 3 and somebody comes around you on Charlie 4, a little bit rough in terms of fighting them off, because they get both high ground, better cover, and you're in a much denser ball, especially if they land a strike in you. It's almost GG. Could see maybe if any sort of Galaxy Brain strats come in for Level where he does a tunnel push or something else. But that'll be to be determined. Excuse me. Should have muted my mic there. Been a very long week for me. Wouldn't expect to see too much out of Charlie. Caps for both sides mostly stacking Bravo, and going back into the game, we see a Bravo Charlie stack from Team 1. We're waiting at Team 2 all the players in. Doesn't look like they're rotating anybody out as far as Team 1 side, and they're sticking with the same 6 people: Juice, Weapon, Najee, Squishy IV4, and Nathalis. So, not sure where Level's at or where the rest of his gang of bastard teammates is, but I think they had like 7, 8 for the scrim we had against them this week, and don't see any sign of Level himself. So maybe it's just the puppet master in the background. Don't know, but as we get everything swapped back over, I don't know. Twitch chat, what do you want? Do you want to brawl over in Charlie 4? Do you want to see somebody trying ERs and long-range things in the back of Bravo 6? You can actually use lock-on, so could see some streak assassins maybe, and a bunch of chargers or victors to back them up. 40 and 80 tonners seem to make a fairly good combo, especially if they've got jump jets and can really abuse the high ground of these buildings. Would expect to see fair number of commandos, especially considering how good they are at scouting through the ridge lines here. There's a lot of good mix for this map. I mean, it's cold too, so you can do, laser vomit and LPLs and MPLs, depending on what range you want to fight at. Switching back over into the game, we've got Team 1 locked. Epsi Kappa. This is the wrong time to be confirming that. Yes, it is Epsi. Okay, so both sides getting a little toe in Bravo, Charlie, and stacking Bravo, but go. Trying to avoid a radio cast here. Doing my best. Alright. So maybe they delayed long enough. It is KDCM up 2 drops to 0 for those just joining us. Turns out NSR is pretty good when you're that good at it. Dervish, Crab, Dervish, and Cyclops, Blackjack. Okay, that's some interesting stuff from KDCM. And going over to Level's gang of bastard teammates. 3 chargers. Are these all brawl chargers? These are all brawl chargers. Okay, Ultra AC-20s and SRM. So they're expecting the fight to come to them, and they are more than prepared. Double Wolfhounds and a Vulcan to back them up as well. Gonna get some early cap pressure by taking Kappa. Same thing on the other side, but getting the early cap will definitely affect this fight. Blackjack 3 is PPCs. Yep, 2 ER peeps. MPLs from the Dervishes. That's to be expected. Crab SL chosen for the jump jets. And the Cyclops is LBs or Ultras? Ultras. So, I would actually give the short range fight to Level here if these chargers can get in close to them being molested too much. And they'd have no real knockout range besides the Ultras coming in from the Cyclops. He's playing very far in the back. Squeebies knows a lot's going to be riding on him as the Dervish is kind of screen. Level playing a little safer. And Strike going down. Does it hit anybody damage? Squishy ate a shell, but that's about it. A little underwhelming for that well-placed of a strike. Sadly not an air, which probably would have hit Juice and Captain Judas. But they're rotating around the left position, trying to close in here a little bit. Get into optimal MPL range. Squibbies is going to be the ideally placed to receive this. The question is, how much damage can he get before he goes down? The Blackjack is not really going to be nearly as effective once this brawl gets started. He just doesn't have the raw DPS, and I don't think they're going to be that afraid of him. So Weapon Master in here leading the charge. Let's do this. Can you out NSR, KDCM? Let's go Weapon. Loses an arm fairly early. Going for CTs, I see. As the fight devolves, Weapon finally gets some cover. No real damage going down for KDCM. Did they not shoot on the way in? Both the Chargers are getting absolutely mauled, and there's almost no damage. All three of the dervishes are being shot by different members of this team. This is an absolute clusterfuck. And there is no focus fire going on. Jay is at 50%. FLDR is at 76. PsyQ finally dies. This is really, really rough. There's drop some people in the ground. Finally, the dervish is about to go down. Captain Judas has already been halved. Wolfhounds are doing work, but those Chargers have suffered for it. Tonnage advantage majorly in KDCM's favor. Squeeby's still alive, although I believe he has been halved. No, his guns are just jammed on the right side. Wolfhounds are going to focus him down, but that was an appalling display of focus fire. And I feel like they should have had that, because, I mean, Weapon got in. He got to about here before he was truly in any danger, and once he got to cover, they switched targets pretty readily onto Captain Judas there. But that is officially the map and match for KDCM. I'd be interested to know how much damage Stool actually did there. So, Squibs, open left leg, Crab, open left leg, Blackjack, overheat damage. Looks like he took a backshot with one of the Wolfhounds as well. But very, very messy. Very messy. But, well, at least they are willing to commit to the brawl. I will give them props for that. So,
Theta is controlled
might have
by
been a
the
little
enemy.
more brave or interesting to see some
The
better
enemy
fights.
has capped enough
I don't know,
resources.
like,
We've failed.
no damage went down on the Wolfhounds or Vulcans. They were all shooting at all the Chargers, and LGBT was shooting at all the dervishes, but the problem is they didn't kill any of the dervishes. So that really, really hurt them in the DPS race, especially down the stretch. Juice going down. Weapon Master was the one who led in, and I guess you can see the potential in what they saw in those Chargers with Captain Judas doing almost 700 there, but not enough, not tanky enough, and didn't get close enough. Cyclops really hard carried that match. The fact that he managed to stay alive and stay at the back, huge potential there. So I am finally seeing the crabs. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw more crabs going forward. This is certainly a good map for them, especially when you can afford the tonnage quite a bit more. They've already used a lot of the Phoenix Hawks and Uziels, so we shall see. Let's see if anybody brings out a big daddy crab. Does look like there was some team damage down here. Also, somebody dropped Strike in the middle of that brawl, and it looks like it was one of Level's guys. But swap teams over, and let's do it again. See if they change anything from the other side. The next two drops are even more brawl oriented than drops 1 and 2. Yes, ISC is just straight brawl, because everyone has figured out that MPLs and SRMs are the only way to go, along with big DACA dick energy. Could see what Alpine PPC Wub Roughneck. That is true. We were seeing a lot of spread damage from Level in that drop versus the pinpoint of those dervishes. Wonder how much that contributed to the win. Would be a good question for the later interviews. I don't know. Going over to the tournament page real fast. It's really hard to think about, but both these teams... Oh, this is not the updated tournament page. Or is it? No, this is not. Okay. Stay away from that for a second. Level's team was seeded, I think, 4th. And KDCM was 6th. Let me fact check that. KDCM was 6th, Level was 5th, and both these guys are 3-1 coming into this match. So, definitely Level's team has certainly put in more impressive performances over the recent weeks. They did 4-0 to Comrade Collective and have beat up on a number of other seemingly very good teams, but did fall versus their arch rivals of. They lost versus F-37, who stepped up in a big way with that upset. I knew that had an upset for somebody. And KDCM also fell to F-37. So where is F-37 at? Who do they play this week? They play Eon, or the not Eon people. But switching back into the game, we got one team locked, waiting on the other one. I know the glorious sound of my radio cast is probably not the best, but I also didn't have time to prepare, so you can't see this. Unless... No, that's not going to work. Don't break anything, especially not where we're live. Anyway, getting back into it, we are almost locked and loaded. We got one person. Level is finally in the mix. Galaxy Brain Strats, here we come. NSR versus ATMs. Oh, if only. Clatter Missile Tech, yo. Somebody go let F-37 know they're fighting. The two rejects fighting over their scraps. 0 PM. I'm not sure what this means. Alright, well, I don't think it matters. Let's rock, and need more LRM narc. Oh, please no. Awesome would be absolutely awful at this map. There's way, way too much cover. But they don't call it Galaxy Brain for nothing. Let's see who bought the Lerms. Roughnecks and Archer and Crabs versus so Level's team has finally done their allocation of Crabs, and KDCM is using their Assassins and a whole bunch of Thanatos. These have what? Heavy Gauss? Heavy Gauss. They are Chads striding about, going to assert some dominance over this Roughneck rush as they come in. Are these LBs? What is the plan here?
Command confirming that we
PLs and PLs. MPLs, even on the Archer. So, here we go, as they lead the way. 27Bs are an interesting choice. They do have the extra MPL, but jump jets are nice. Assassins are going for Theta, or are they going to catch them in the flank? Questions abound. Look like they're finally getting some information as the Victor clears and does get spotted by the entire team. This is going to be very rough for these assaults, and the Assassins are going to take a good 15 seconds to get into this fight. They're not reacting at all. Victor is about to get shot. Here they go. Stone Templar, the countdown has started, and the dive is on. Heavy Walk going against the mass MPL rush. Trying to out KDCM. Weapon Master does get 2 big shots. Does lose a side torso there. Massive strike goes down. Only his Roughneck and the Archer there. Thanatos has already been legged. And Invictus is doing what he can, trying to get back shots on these Roughnecks. Does side torso Captain Judas. But the Assassins are here, and it looks like that's going to be enough. They are going to drop the last Thanatos. Finally! Does take him forever to die. Now it's Crabs versus Assassins, SRMs versus MPLs. That time it took them to get there, Juice is not dying whatsoever, standing like a man, getting SRM'd. Finally goes down, but does buy enough time to get Dreadnought down. Stone Templar and Squeebies have to fight Level, Squishy, and the Drid here. Need to pick a focus fire target, guys, and try not to get backshot. All these crabs look to be fairly damaged. Is anybody open in the legs? Doesn't look like it. Strike goes down, very ineffective, but not a lot of damage coming into the assassin, but Squibs finally does get lagged, and that can be it here. I don't think Stone Templar is going to be able to pull this out on his own. No strike kill. They are going to full mercy kill him and move on. Stone Templar, do you have it in you? As he runs away. With crabs in hot pursuit. Left leg is open, so... Pro tip, if you're fighting Level's team, hide your left leg. They tend to shoot that one first. 3 salvos and nobody got it. Shooting is not quite there for LGBT tonight, but they are going to win at least one drop here. So, we'll go into the final match at 3-1. Why did the scoreboard not show up? Ah. So, bit of early gap pressure. Won't matter. Secret ninja crabs. Hey, at least they're taking the loss pretty well. Yeah, the time it took for the assassins to react to that, way too long. They were all split up down here, probably and had no eyes and no scouting. Definitely dangerous. Like, even one of them doing a jump jet up to this building or cresting along the right-hand side would have seen that coming in time to get the... At least get them into cover, because they died out here with nowhere to go as they crested the ridge. Hey, that's the highest compliment you can get. Jay called you out for a good push. You take that compliment all the way. Going into the damage scores here, not going to see a lot from these Victors and Thanatoses. 229 is pretty decent, but they're there to delete side torsos, not get damage. Did get 1 kill. Assassins did their best, definitely spread out. Stone Templar Copite with a heroic pullback, but not enough to overcome that early deficit. Real nice mix of damage, good armor sharing. Did see Captain Judas get side torsoed fairly early on, and but the crabs held up and did their work. So the reason that we didn't bring crabs for drop 1 and 2 is they were saving them for this moment, and turns out it worked. Just had that much more DPS. So, going into drop 5, and I can't get it to behave on the map strat. I don't actually know what map drop 5 is. Drop 5 is Solaris City. There we go. I've been trying to pull that information up while I'm streaming and doing 9 other things. So, Solaris City, as we swap over here. This is just going to be an awkward map for this much tonnage. This is going to be a lot funner in the next 2 weeks when you got the mediums and the lights. But if you're going to play Solaris on heavy, question is, do you play the jump jet side or do you play the not jump jet side? So I don't think we'll see any of the assaults with jump jets, but you can play a decent blocking force on either of the choke points headed out of Theta. Or you could do what we saw 100 times with HPG in the last 3 weeks and camp Theta with all your big guys with 2 commandos running around, making absolute nuisances of each other and winning the game, the cheesiest cap strat you've ever seen. Don't know, don't care, but I really hate shooting commandos, and I've gotten entirely too much practice over it last 2 weeks of ISC. That said, I mean, neither team has used an Annihilator yet. We did see Charters out of Level's team. We did see a Victor out of KDCM. So they do have a lot of their tonnage to play with. We've seen 1 Cyclops. The real question is, what are they going to use the 40 tonners? Because they've used the Vulcans, they've used the Assassins. for KDCM, so they're definitely going lighter. So I haven't seen any wolfhounds. Well, might be interesting for this drop. And again, like I said, commandos, fleas, good map for them, especially with stealth armor and how bad the visibility is on this thing. From level side, definitely going to expect annihilators, probably with ultras. They've definitely taken it to KDCM with the NSR. They've just tried to, they've known it's coming and played into it almost. So should know fairly quickly. I would expect a Bravo stack from Team 1, Charlie stack from Team 2, just in terms of what's going to be their closest cap. So, switching back over to the game, we have Team 1 locked, and we have memes coming thick and fast. A potency. Maybe I shouldn't show this on Twitch. Alright, so Alpha Charlie. Here we go. How many people do we have in here? I don't actually have a counter up. These are the best we got left. As I said, KDCM was rated 6, level was rated 5, and I think he's picked up another like 99%. Fought somebody over Nate for rights of honor or something. So these are not slackers in terms of the pro game. They've just chosen to ignore most of the poke meta and DACA. But let's see some DACA on this one, because I believe we'll see Annihilators galore. Also, come on, you gotta give us more credit than that. Like, these teams are out here bringing the memes, both in chat and a little bit with the mech choices. We've not seen anything super shocking, but could on this drop. I don't know if I like this map flying around with the spectator camera more than I like Terra Therma, but it's close. You get very claustrophobic with all these buildings. The problem is they're gonna get into a fight and I'm gonna clip through them and cut off the action. So, Level's Game of Bastard Teammates has brought 3 Annihilator 1As, going with the maxim of big guns never tire, big dick energy, or whatever the kids have called it these days. LBs are the weapon of choice. So we move in. Panther is going to be an interesting supporting mech. Squishy IV4 is running behind the Vulcan. Did not think they had another Vulcan left, but my counting skills are subpar, especially after this week. 2 fleas running around, and the big boys are 3 Annihilator 2As and a Cyclops as they trundle along in here. Weapon of choice being Ultras. Going to be lots of AC5s, lots of Ultra 10s. So, here we go. Slap fight may go down in Theta as they run the Panther off, or the Fleas decide they don't want to chance it.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
Are going to bounce on somebody here. Squishy Heavy 4 is probably not the target they're expecting, but here we go. 2 Fleas, 1 Vulcan. Who's going to make it out of here? And who's going to lose a leg even if they win the fight? Squishy has decided he's going to run for his life. Going to get back up from the Panther. But Panther might be too little too late. He's getting real low in one of those legs. Yeah, definitely going to lose a leg even if he wins this fight. I don't know if that... Yep, they are not going to take it. They are going to scamper out of here with their prize. And Jay is hurt but not dead. most importantly, keeping up that lag. Does look like he took a little bit of mass damage or overheat.
We have
He is
gained
going
a
to secure the
slot.
map slot and put Level on the back foot, having lost a lot of his cap control. Those LBs want to be in the fight at 4 inches, really. I was going to say 40 meters, but 4 inches, really. Do get some early damage on the fleas, but not really going to scrape them. Not at that range. Interesting choice not going into Theta. I don't know where this strike is landing. Somebody put a smoke at a cheeky location. Doesn't look like it hurt the Annihilators all that much, though. Jay is contesting Theta, and there's no one here to stop it. So, Judas may have streaks in that. Kintaro. That could be very pivotal for running down these fleas. 2 Flamer. Nope.
Resource point Theta is
Straight
ours.
RSRMs. Lot of damage on Jay. That strike was beautiful. He's walking out of there a cripple. I think you shoot a flea anywhere and it dies
Command
normally,
confirming
but
that we
he
have
may not even have to
possession
do a
of
full
Kappa.
alpha strike to break him. So the Annihilators are committing into the Theta corridor.
They've
There is
taken
nothing here
Epsilon.
to oppose them, but it will be spotted by Jay here. See, there it goes, clipping into a building. Do it. Tried so hard not to do it. Alright, Squibby is taking the high ground. These Ultras going to rain death and destruction for as much room as they have. Strikes are going to be absolutely devastating in this crosswalk up here. But we shall see a lot of damage go down to Weapon Master. Not a whole lot of return fire. Stool Softener going down to 82%. Definitely going to be their focus fire target going forward. Juice trying to be a little cagey in the background here. Weapon is fully going for it, and he's going to absolutely pay as he gets shot from 3 sides. Side torso gone. Other side torso gone. 1-0 LBs. Jay finally gets legged as he goes for the backstab by Captain Judas. But this is becoming calamity and woe as they push through the choke point. And whoever pushes to the choke point on this map usually loses. Captain Judas dies. Goo is making Juice life absolute hell. Do have the Panther going for the Cyclops, trying to get at least 1 kill and salvage some honor, but he may not even be able to do that. Panther is MPLs or PPCs? Yeah, MPLs. Falls. A solid effort there, but this will be a 4-1 to KDCM in truthfully record time. We got that from I got notified, hey, can you cast this at 8:03, and we have finished the match at 8:58. So very well done.
Resource point Theta
Both
is
teams
ours.
had decks planned out, and I approve of Level trying. He tried to NSR and make it as brawly and messy as possible, but there is a reason why KDCM are known as the second coming of Ismo. Excellent match. Going over to the damage screen as we get guys in here for interviews. Nothing too surprising. IV4, 26 damage. That was rough. Getting ganked by both the fleas without the Kintaro there to support him. Missed opportunity. Okay. But let's see if we can get him in here for an interview. Greetings, gentlemen.
Level's fighting his son. He needs a second. His son's winning. It sounds pretty bad.
Okay.
Level.
Okay, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, let me get you guys into our map room, and we can talk about how those drops went.
Okay.
So, congratulations, KDCM.
Thanks, Dad.
It's so funny because I always get called mom for yelling at people and bitching that they don't have their overrides on, but every time I don't say it. So
Yeah,
hearing dad
masculine.
is a different thing.
Masculine touch fest. Come on.
Well, so the first fight was fairly standard on. Switch over the map strat so you guys can see. Anyway, the first fight was fairly standard on Canyon, and once again, it's not showing this correctly.
Canyon. That looks like forest.
Yeah, it's not showing up in OBS correctly, but I had to reset it, I guess. You guys stayed in the pocket there for a long, long time in that second drop. What was with the Mexican standoff?
We were just looking to dig as many airstrikes into them as possible because in the MPL fight, 10% off each enemy mech. It's not like we got any crazy strikes, but if we go in at 99, 100%, and they're at 90%, these MPL drops is just it's a straight like knife fight. You're gonna equal skill pilots are just gonna hit each other in the face, and you might as well flip a coin for who's gonna win at that point. So we were just like, every one of us expended every strike we had before we fought, even if they missed. We wanted to make sure there wasn't a missed opportunity.
Got it. I definitely like the way you react at the fallback there from the second drop. I know you weren't in that one level, but was there some coaching or a conscious decision of if they push us, this is where we're going?
Oh yeah. Originally, we thought for sure, they would come at us from Charlie 5, not Delta 4 originally. So, we were planning to for them just to fall right into a pocket. But when one of our guys finally got eyes down C5 and saw nothing was there, there was supposed to be someone in Delta 5. They just like either a UAV or just like jump jet, peek over towards Theta, see what's going on over there. No one did. So when we were out by Epsilon, the team kind of froze, to be honest. They weren't sure what to do at that point because at that point we could move up to Delta 5, but we were pretty sure they were right there in the low ground in Delta 4. And our biggest worry was we would jump jet up there, and then the first mech to peak, we get annihilated by 6 mechs. But yeah, so eventually the team froze. They got struck. Now they were able to dodge most of the strikes, but the strikes did absolutely turn that in favor for Jay's team. So when we did our fallback, the fallback was working. We were able to leg a mech early, and he was by Epsilon, but we weren't able to leg a second or third mech before they were right on top of us. So unfortunately, the fallback worked a bit, but like I said, being struck a little bit and also hesitating over there for too long, really, we basically threw the match at that point. If I could do things different, I would have absolutely took the fight to Jay if he was going to stand there and strike my team all day. But unfortunately, I wasn't there in the drop.
Well, for a drop you were there on, quit flirting in the map strat. For a drop you were there on, definitely a very solid push from the crab rush that you guys did.
I don't want to talk
Everybody
about that.
cresting over it.
Can we go to the other one? That was embarrassing.
I was able to drop much this week because of my girlfriend had a couple of wisdom teeth pulled, so
Ooh,
been
fun.
nursing her since Monday. But I was able to finally get into the drop on this one. I saw the team was doing they were getting pushed into too hard, and I was like, dude, guys, just take the fight to them. We can totally out YOLO KDCM. And that's literally what we did.
Yeah.
I literally just sent us on this path. We just went like this, and then bloop, and that was the whole fight. And then the whole fight happened right here.
Yeah, Jay, was one of the assassins supposed to be scouting, or were they all headed to Theta?
I don't want to talk about it. Squeebies forgot to put jump jets on his assassin. And we lose the game, and he's like, it's fine. Oh my god, I don't want to. He's like, oh yeah, forgot to put me jump jets on. Sorry, gonna go fight a crocodile. He did his whole thing, and we like him, so we didn't say anything about it. We're just like, it's what happened when we were on Team 1 was exactly why we were afraid of bringing like just straight heavier brawl on Team 2, because we're just like, dude, Level's the pug wrangler, man. And these aren't pugs. Like, he has good pilots with him now. Like, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to, Level puts the horse blinders on these kids and sends them in, and that's it. He just puts that carrot in front of them, and they don't stop, dude. There was literally your roughneck and your archer Like those had to be the two hardest face plants ever. And at that point, it's just like, oh great, now our backs against the wall. It was, we landed. I'd have to say like 6 or 7 clean CT shots, and it's just not enough.
Nope.
Like mathematically speaking.
Those heavy guac mechs died well, but they don't have the
Unfortunately.
sheer firepower needed. So what about the other drop? I think Squibby's in that Cyclops was monumental in keeping that drop from falling apart. And it was him doing the damage he did, the lack of focus fire on those dervishes was a 1-2 punch that I don't think anybody could have recovered from.
It was really the jumping crab that won us that drop. We couldn't figure out a mech that was like a dervish, so we, for like 3 days, have been building this crab that we never knew existed until now. But yeah, it was actually, we scrimmed these frozen drops a whole lot internally, externally, stuff like that, and we just figured like, we just freaking seeing that how strong an assault mech could be in that C5 pocket, it dominates. It absolutely dominates, and it's like. Again, here we were like, okay, Level's going to try to outbrawl us. He's not, Level's going to go for that vibe check. He's going to come in and he's going to be like, oh, KDCM on a 800-meter map? Yeah, we're going to brawl him. Like, so we knew the brawl was coming. And the second we saw Chargers, when I say that, like, we blew up over comms, we were like cheering, like, it's going to work. The stupid plan's going to work.
It certainly did. Those Chargers ain't no mean feat. We lost against them in our fight with them.
Well, his Cyclops was actually perfectly positioned, like right there. So our Chargers, they didn't group up first. You'll see it. One of the Chargers peeks this corner. It starts trying to shoot the Cyclops right here. And he just gets laid into by all these MPL mechs plus the Cyclops. He backs off the corner. And that's when the other two came around. So the push was definitely, it could have been a lot better and a lot stronger. But yeah, we had mechs go that way and a couple that I think went this way. By not being able to drop that Cyclops early, it just got unlimited damage. And every time a mech tried to take it out of the fight, it just laid into him so hard. So that was actually well done, Jay.
Send my regards to Weapon Master and whatever drugs you have him on, because he was, whatever you promised him was on the other side of KDCM. He went for it every single drop.
Clearly, he was trying to get to the rest of Frozen City, like off of like D10. Like he sent it, dude. He freaking sent it.
There were no breaks. Switching over to that Solaris drop, I think a lot of it was already decided when those two fleas managed to drop IV4 over an Epsilon.
Yeah.
That was real rough.
We were comms. Squishy was we saw that Epsi was being capped. We saw that it stopped being capped. Squishy was supposed to only go for Epsi if he was certain there was nothing over there, but just kind of scout the area, but not get too close. What happened was he got too close. He got jumped by the one flea. It looked like he tried to fight it, and that's when the second flea jumped in. And then that's when he tried running. But at that point, it was too late to run because the fleas just kept laid into him as he tried to get away, and he just couldn't.
Yeah.
So he was correct. When he got onto Epsilon, there was nobody even close. But one of the fleas left Theta, came around the left side, and the other one was scouting your main force and came around the top side, or I guess like this, and pincered him. There was nowhere he was going.
And when we saw that it was Squishy that was there, it was like we won the lottery. We're like, we have Squishy alone for 30 seconds. Like we can do whatever we want with him.
You proved he was very Squishy.
He kicked my ass earlier in 1v1s. He was working me with that exact Vulcan in 1v1s. So to be on the other end of it was just like, yes, like finally. It was perfect.
But yeah,
that was the plan.
Happened.
The light.
We started rotating a bit, right? Because we're like, well, we at that point without a capping mech, knowing that Katie's team had two, it was going to be nearly impossible to hold a two cap and force the fight to us. So at that point, something took Theta as we were like getting close to it. And at that point, I think you guys had all three. You had these two caps, and then shortly after you guys took Kappa. I think it was it Delta 5 or Delta 4 where you guys were like coming up the top with your antes?
Our
Now,
guys
this
walked
is
in
when I
E5.
made the fatal
Yeah.
call. So I saw this ante up top, fired my LBs a little lower than I should have. They hit the leg, and that leg went from no damage to orange. And I was like, holy shit, that person skipped leg day. And like, I told my team to lay to his legs, but the other antes dropped down, and then my team switched focus. But at that point, we were just trying to manage dropping at least one of the antes, keep the fight balanced. But at that point, you know, it was going to take a lot of luck, dumb luck, and mistakes on Jay's part for us to win the fight. But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, my team's been doing really good with me out on the field this season as much as I usually am. Normally I run every drop, but I've just been unfortunately unable to do that this season. So I mean, they usually do real good. Yeah, the team really didn't want to fight KDCM because we're kind of like brothers. So one team happened to force a loss, on the other sucked.
Are you friend zoning me? You're friend zoning me.
I think he's.
You're really gonna
brother-zoning
friend
you.
zone me. You said we're like
Brother-zoning.
brothers.
This is a family-friendly
I'm like a brother
cast. We
to
can't
you?
tell people about what happens after dark.
Oh no, Level's stuck in the dryer.
But yeah, so yeah, we made some bad mistakes today, to be completely honest. And Jay capitalized on them and swept us across the board. So well done, Jay. Tell Giggity I still love him, even though he effed me in the a-hole pretty hard tonight.
He screamed your bingus, dude.
But I have to get off here shortly. So unless you have any more questions for me, I'm taking off.
All right, I'll see you, Level.
See
Say
you
bye
guys.
to everybody,
Jay,
and-
good luck next week.
Shout out to for the first time a girl who's interested in watching me die on Twitch. Shout out to Lisa, and shout out to my boyfriend Tyler. So, all right, Faf,
right.
good seeing you.
Always a pleasure. Maybe give me more warning next time.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, 5 minutes. That's enough. Have a good one.
See ya. All right, and that'll be the last from me. I'll probably be casting 2 matches tomorrow. Yeah, shows you how much of a brain I've got right now. Jesus. Anyway, so Stop Your Robot Action. Today was good. Tomorrow will be better and hopefully more prepared. But congratulations to KDCM for winning 4-1 over LGBT. Peace.